Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree if you are new here, and in today's video I'm just feeling some Valentine's Day makeup. Like, just something cute. I don't know that I'd necessarily consider this like Valentine's date night makeup, more like, hey, I want to be festive Valentine's Day makeup, if that makes any sense. I mean, wear whatever you want to a date by all means, but I just want to do like a little Valentine's Day glam situation. So if you guys want to hang out while I do some Valentine's Day makeup, then just keep on watching. Okay, so for today's video, I'm going to dip into the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette, which honestly is like the epitome of Valentine's Day, if I do say so myself. It has all of the perfect Valentine's Day colors, and apparently my lack of ability to speak. That's fine. I'm going to start out with a very small shader brush like this one and go down into the shade right here, Not My Journey. No, you know what? Not that one. I mean, I'm still going into Not My Journey. I'm actually just going to use an even more defined shader brush. I was originally going to do like a smoky wing situation, but I'm changing my mind. So, I haven't done this style of makeup in a hot minute. So I'm just taking and kind of carving out a little section on my inner corner. I'm not making it too big, I'm not taking it too far, just kind of a little line, if you will. I've done like a lot of smoky wings on and off camera lately, and this used to be like my bread and butter favorite way to do my eyeshadow, so why not bring it back? And then, now I'm going to take the smaller shader brush, and I'm going to dip into this pink shade right here, Tipsy Girl, and I'm going to go just right above the purple. I feel like a lot of times in the past, because I've done plenty of other like Valentine's Day glam videos, and I feel like I tend to lean into like the reds of it all. I'm sure I've probably used this palette almost every single year, but I tend to lean into the reds, and I figured this year it would be fun to lean into the pinks and the purples. Do something a little bit different. So I'm taking this slightly above that line and then slightly beyond it as well. And I can always go back in, obviously, and re-intensify that purple. And then last but not least for mattes, I'm going to go in with a larger shader brush, and I'm going to jump over to Therapy Sesh. And do the same thing slightly above that pink. And this is very pastel purple, so it's just gonna kind of serve as like our blender. So slightly above and then slightly beyond. We'll address that in just one second. We're gonna match it, but I'm not loving the way that the purple is looking. The light purple, I should say. So really quick, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually just gonna grab my blush, because blushes are much more sheer than eyeshadows, of course, on this very tiny brush, and I'm gonna kind of go over where I had put that purple because I wasn't really liking what the purple was doing, and that's okay. We can always adjust. Like I said, obviously this wasn't my original intention, so I was kind of winging it just a little bit. Okay, I am gonna take my brow setting brush and apply some like neutral colored powder to a couple spots on my lids, but before I do that, I want to jump in with my shimmer because I'll use that neutral color to kind of blend it out. It'll make sense in a second. I'm going to use the Stila Glisten and Glow liquid shadow in the shade Brook, and I'm going to really start with a lot of impact on my inner corner, and I'm going to kind of use this brush to carve out the lower line. And then once I get to like maybe the halfway point, I'm just going to kind of stop, and I'll go in with my finger and diffuse it. And then if I want like a little bit more, this one is really easy to build up because it actually starts out really sheer. So I can kind of build and blend as needed. Okay, now I'm going to grab my brow setting brush and just an old face powder there's not enough powder in there to set my face. I'm going to start out on the top just to further soften this, and then I'm also going to hit my outer corner Mostly so I don't have like unset eye primer just kind of chilling. And then what I'm going to do really quick is I'm actually just going to work lightest to darkest back on the mattes. So I'm actually starting out with that blush again, which is, by the way, the LA Girl Just Blushing Blush in the shade Just Playful. We're skipping that pastel purple shade because that was the problem. Pick up just a little bit more of Tipsy Girl. And then last but not least, right into Not My Journey to kind of really define that line. All right, simple. I'm gonna go put on a wing, put on my base, and I will be right back. For my hair looks ridiculous with it tucked behind my ears. For my cream bronzer, I'm gonna use the Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer in the shade Hey Honey. So I'm just gonna start out by kind of roughly getting it on my nose. And also kind of using it in that bridge section to kind of, I don't know, mesh everything together on my lids. That's a weird way to hold this brush. I'm on a wait list for cancellations for a teeth cleaning because my dentist was like super fucking booked up. And they texted me while I was off doing my base. And I missed the fact that she said Monday, and I thought she was asking me if I wanted to come in today at 3. And I was like, that just fucks my whole day, doesn't it? Like, but no, she said Monday. And I'm very excited because I'm going to ask our regular dentist, like my normal dentist that I've had since I was fucking like 10. Like, I've known this man for over half of my life. And he's a very, very good man. Like, he's a good man, Savannah. Oh my god, I'm quoting TikTok and I have no idea by the time that this video is coming out if TikTok even... Oh, that's sad. Really quick, I'm going in with the ColourPop Liquid Blush in the shade Thanks, or THX, whichever way you want to interpret that. Yeah, when, you know how like the regular, like the dentist will come over after the cleaning's done to like take a little look-see. I'm gonna be like, yo, homie, I need your advice. Like, I need to know how to deal with Chris's dentist because it's just been one nightmare after another. He has to have a second surgery, and we have the post-op appointment scheduled. We originally had it scheduled actually for the end of this month, which meant his surgery would have been like, or well, for the end of January. I forget that I'm pre-filming. It's for the end of January, which meant that actually more than likely by the time you guys are seeing this video, the surgery would have already happened. But my parents are going on a little mini vacation at the end of February. So Chris was like, no, we absolutely are not, like, we're not fucking that up. We are going to postpone my surgery so that they can go on a little trip, have a little, you know, vacation. And when I went in to reschedule it, the girl up at the front, which I like the girls up at the front, they're not the issue here. The girl up at the front was just like, I think the appointment's a week, like the surgery's a week later, but I'm not 100% sure. It wasn't scheduled, so I don't actually know. I'm just gonna keep yapping through studying my face because I'm yapping. No, I gotta wait for this to dry. Yeah, she was just like, I don't really know, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, no problem. Like, I need to ask the treatment coordinator some other questions as well. So I'll just send her an email, you know? So that day that I did that, or maybe it was the following day, I don't know. It was like right around that same time that I rescheduled that appointment, I sent an email, like a very nice, very professional email. I didn't go in hot or anything like that. I just, you know, was asking, hey, when is the surgery? Because we're trying to plan for work. Chris's parents were also planning to come out here, and they kind of wanted they usually come for a week, and they wanted it to kind of be like, have a couple days before, and then be here for the surgery and have a couple days after, so that like if Chris needed support, like, you know, and all of that, which this surgery is much more mild, much less in depth than the previous. But with that being said, we paid a very large sum of money for the original surgery, and then I guess like mid fucking surgery, the plans changed, and what we paid for was not actually what happened. Which I understand the reasoning behind it, like some things can't be done and blah blah blah. But technically, when it all boiled down, we were given two prices for the options, and we chose the slightly more expensive, slightly more in-depth, but overall better in the long run option. And basically, like, what ended up happening is probably somewhere closer to the cheaper version, which is like a $10,000 difference between the two. And what ended up happening mid-surgery ended up being closer to the cheaper option. And so in my email, I also said, like, hey, we paid X amount of money for X procedure, and, you know, understandably things happened, plans had to change, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, is the difference in money going to roll to the other work that needs to be done? Or, you know, like, what's going on with that? Also, like, can I please get an amount for the additional remaining work that needs to be done? And, like, all of this. We also just had some general questions about the surgery. Like I said, I keep calling it a surgery. It's not really a surgery. It's an implant placement. Both of my parents, both of his parents, like, I know quite a few people who have had implants placed and they're not like put under for it, but they're really like trying to push to put him under for this one. And I'm sorry, but I feel like between the surgery he had, the hernia surgery he had a couple years ago, and then the surgery that he had last year, I feel like we have pretty good proof at this point that like him and Versed, however you pronounce it, just like don't mesh, you know, like not a vibe. So, and just like neither of us really feel like he needs to be like fully under for this. Like, let's just give the boy a Xanax, numb the shit out of him, you know? Give him some fucking nitrous, numb the shit out of him. Like, I don't think that he really needs to be like fully under. Plus, and I stated this in the email as well, he can eat a lot more than he could before. Absolutely. But like, his diet is still somewhat limited. And and then also like the diet's going to be even more limited in the immediate aftermath of the surgery. And I don't particularly love the idea of going, okay, it's the day before surgery, like, eat what you can up until like 10 p.m. and then, sorry, sucks to suck, you can't eat anything. And you're going to get up, this is going to be all done tomorrow, and then you're for sure going to throw up because you always do. Like, anesthesia makes him throw up, like, violently. So you're going to throw up whatever is left in your body. And then you're not going to eat anything for probably the rest of the day because you're going to be in too much pain. So I just don't love that idea. You know, I think that makes sense. I would much rather let him eat whatever he wants up until the moment that man falls asleep, whether he falls asleep at 4 a.m. or he falls asleep at 10 p.m. I'd rather him eat as much as he physically can. This powder foundation was way more yellow than I intended it for it to be. But I'd rather him eat as much as he physically can and then not throw up the next day, and then probably not eat. Let's be honest here. He probably isn't going to eat the next day, or maybe, you know, have like some protein shakes or something, but like not be nauseous so that if we can just like keep him good on fucking pain pills, maybe he can consume something. I don't think that that's a crazy request. But with that being said, I sent the email, and then fucking 5 days later, Gmail is like, do you want to follow up on this? You haven't gotten a response. And I was like, actually, I would like to follow up on this. And I'm trying to put my under eye setting powder, where I put that other powder foundation to kind of make it less yellow. But yeah, Gma was just like, do you want to follow up? And I was like, I absolutely would like to follow up. And so I followed up, and then I still haven't heard back. And I don't think that it's ridiculous to want to know, like, what's going on and how much this shit's gonna fucking cost, you know? Like, I really don't think that that's that crazy of a fucking request. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the LA Girl Just Blushing Blush in the shade Just Because to do a little quick contouring. But yeah, I don't think that that's that crazy of a request, and like, they're not getting back to me. And it got to the point where I told my in-laws, well, I told Chris first, and then I told my in-laws. Because obviously I'm just a third party in this whole thing. But I basically, like I told them, I was just like, look, if I don't hear back by today, which is a Friday, because their office is closed on Fridays, it must be so nice to only be open 4 days out of the week. And to kick it off, the treatment coordinator and his dentist don't work on Wednesdays. So it must be like so nice to only work 3 days out of the week. I fucking digress. Every time I talk about this, I get so riled up. Yeah, I was just like, if I don't hear back by Friday, book your trip, and we will plan the surgery around that. Like, and if they book their trip and it ends up falling that the surgery is like a couple weeks after that, then it is what it is. But yeah, I was just like, I can't keep making them wait, because the longer they wait, the more expensive flights are gonna fucking get. So yeah, basically all of that to say, when I see my dentist, I'm gonna be like, yo, what do I do here, dude? Like, what do you recommend? Because like, I was getting to the point where I was just like, do I need to like make an appointment for myself as a patient to be able to get time with these fucking people? Like, do I have to book this and like pay for fucking time? How hard is it to respond to an email? Like, genuinely, how hard is it to respond to an email? Even if all you're saying is, I'm not sure, let me look into it and I'll get back to you. That still, deep in my soul, would not provide me with much reassurance, because I've heard let me get back to you multiple times from these fucking people, and guess what? They never fucking get back to me. But like, an acknowledgement of my presence is not, like, I don't think that that's that crazy of a request. Tell me if I'm being insane, but I don't think it's that crazy of a request. By the way, sorry, I was too busy ranting. That was the ColourPop Avila Beach Pressed Powder Bronzer. Or I guess Pressed Powder Bronzer in Avila Beach. Yeah, let me know if I'm being just fucking psycho about this, but I don't think that I am being. I'll wait for my dentist to tell me if I'm being psycho about this. So I'm going to do my under eyes while this kind of, I don't necessarily want to call it a bake, but this bake is sitting where I did my contour. I'm going to basically do the exact same thing, but on the outer corners of my lower lash line. I will say though, that I did tell my husband that because mind you, again, I really need to drive home the point that what we paid for and what was done was a $10,000 difference. That's a lot of fucking money. And I want to say the work that needs to be done, like the remaining work that needs to be done, besides a revision, the remaining work that needs to be done was like $8,000. So I don't think that it's a crazy request to have that difference, I don't know, rolled to the rest of the bill. I also don't think it's that crazy of a request to just kind of want to know what the bill's gonna be. But I did tell Chris that if they get back to me and they tell me that they are not doing, like, they're not rolling the money, or that we don't get refunded because they can't roll the money or whatever, that we will have them finish what was already started, but anything that hasn't been started yet but still needs to be done will be done somewhere else. And I will fucking sue for overcharging us and for just general mismanagement of this entire situation, honestly. If you hear some construction-y noises, It sounds like the maintenance workers are back from their lunch. They are currently working on the apartment beneath me. I've had the past 3 days off, and my very first day off, or I guess this is my third day off, I should say. My first of 3 days off, I actually couldn't film because they were laying carpet. And that is a very, very loud process, I've learned. And it was an all-day affair. And like, I also don't blame them because I would do the same, but they were like blasting music down there, you know, doing some other construction in the middle, you know, while they're probably waiting for shit to do whatever. So yeah, I actually couldn't film that day. Whatever they're doing down there is not nearly as loud. As long as they don't start bumping music, then I'm okay. Speak of the devil, they're blasting music. But I think it's like over on the other side of the apartment, so I don't think the mic is going to pick it up, so I think we're okay for now. Did I learn, though, the other day that there is, in fact, a mariachi cover of Shania Twain's You're Still the One? I did learn this. I'm going to go in with the BPerfect Polar Vortex highlighter in Atmosphere, or the Atmosphere highlighter in Polar Vortex. I don't know. It's my blush topper. Yeah, I was sitting, the other day I was sitting out in the living room, and I was editing, and I was like, that's a familiar melody that I'm hearing. But obviously it's in Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish that fluently, or fluently at all. I know some words, but I was like, that is a very, very familiar, like, melody. And then I was listening, and I was like, I picked up one vocal line that my, like, brain caught onto, and I could hear it in my head, but I couldn't connect it. I had to call Chris and be like, I'm going to sing you a single line from a song, and I need you to tell me what song it is. And I sang it, and he was like, oh, that's You're Still the One by Shania Twain. And I was like, did I see? I was like, okay. Because it did that, and then it went into, like, the full mariachi, like, with the horns and the everything, and the you know, the partying. And I was just like, what a strange combo, but I kind of fuck with it. And then last but not least, for highlight, I'm going to grab the Too Faced Natural Face Palette. I'm going to go up into this top shade up here, Starlight, which kind of has like a pinky reflect to it. It's not super highlighty, but it's pink. And I want pink. I wonder if we'll ever bring back the like colored highlight trend. That was fun, actually. That was a fun time in makeup, I feel. Like the holographic. God, I forgot how good this palette tastes every time a little bit gets in my mouth. Yeah, like the holographic highlight trend was super fun. I miss that. Okay, thank you for tuning into my bitch sesh. I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my makeup. I will be right back. Alright, so this is the final look and my little Valentine's Day glam. I think that it's super cute and just fun and definitely like a little festive, which is what I was looking for. So, comment down below and tell me how you do makeup for Valentine's Day. Do you do like specific date night glam? Do you do like anti-Valentine's Day makeup? Do you do like something fun, cute for work like this? Or do you just say fuck it and like not do anything at all? I'd love to hear all about it. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope that you guys have an awesome, awesome day. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!